Well, good Sunday morning, everybody, and happy February. Here we are at the Member 2 Sport and Wellness Center here in Member 2, Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, for the second leg of this back-to-back weekend series between the host Cape Breton Lynx and the road team, the Fundy Kraken, up from St. John, New Brunswick this weekend for a pair of matches here against the Lynx up here in Cape Breton as we approach the end of the season here. We're heading into the last couple weekends of the Maritime Major Girls Hockey League campaign. The Fundy Kraken playing in their third last game of the regular season here. As well, the Cape Breton Lynx also winding down their schedule, including this being their fourth last game of the year and their second last game here at home in Member 2. They played here last night. The Lynx coming away with a 6-0 win in that game. They ran up the score later in that one in the third period. It was a close one for the first couple periods of that game, going to the third period, 2-0 for the Lynx. The Kraken, though, showing lots of life throughout that game, especially in the second period where they came close a bunch of times to evening that one up, thanks to the heroics of Abby Jessam in between the pipes for the Lynx last night. Is able to hold off the attack, but perhaps some momentum to feed off of here if you're the Kraken on the road, trying to come away with the big 3 points here before making the trip home this afternoon. As we meet our starting goaltenders here, between the pipes today for the Fundy Kraken, Mara Gillespie will get her turn in the crease. Micah Chason played last night for the Kraken. Gillespie actually entered the game for a couple minutes in the third period as Chason went to the dressing room briefly and then returned. But today, Gillespie will get the nod between the pipes as an .825 save percentage in 18 games played this year. And for the Cape Breton Lynx, Ellie Power will get her second start of the season. She played here on Friday night when the Lynx hosted the Northern Subway Selects. Power is 8-7 on the season and sports a .316 goals against average, good for 13th in the Maritime Major Girls Hockey League. Lynx are 3-1 on the season series. This will be the fifth and final meeting of the campaign between these clubs. Fundy took the first meeting all the way back on November 8th. They won that one 3-2 in a shootout, but since then the Cape Breton Lynx have won 3 in a row against the St. John-based club here. Over to your right here tonight, the Fundy Kraken will be in the road whites with the blue logo, and to your left, the Lynx will sport the home uniforms in the black and the purple. Kraken in pursuit of their cross-province rivals, the Western Flames out of Fredericton, in the New Brunswick playoff picture. 3 teams out of New Brunswick in this league, including the league-leading Moncton Rockets, who jumped back into first place yesterday in the league. They hold 62 points, 2 points ahead of the Northern Subway Selects of Antigonish. Kraken trying to close that gap with the Western Flames in the standings. Possible playoff meeting over there, as we'll get started once we play the national anthem here in Member 2. And pardon me, everybody, it doesn't look like they're going to play the anthem here before this game this morning. It appears the officials are just double-checking the lineups here with each of the benches, over the Lynx bench and now over with the Kraken coaches on the right side. We were talking about playoff possibilities here between the Flames and the Kraken over in the New Brunswick playoff picture. Over here in Nova Scotia, the Cape Breton Lynx, with the win yesterday, are 5 points back of the Greenfoot Capitals. There's 4 teams in this league, based out of Nova Scotia. Subway Selects from Antigonish, first place in that pitch right now. Lindsay Surge in the second place, only 2 points behind the Selects. And then the Greenfoot Caps sit with 39 points in the standings right now, and the Lynx now at 34, so they're able to pull off another win here this morning, then that will close the gap even more. But of course, the Kraken warming up for the end of their season 2, so they certainly won't make it easy. They didn't yesterday. We have a good one on our hands here this morning as we have an early icing in the first 6 seconds of this hockey game. And play ensues in the Cape Breton Lynx zone, and we're underway here in Member 2, second of the weekend between these clubs. The Lynx playing their third game of the weekend, all at home here at the Member 2 Sport and Wellness Center. Just the second game of the weekend for the Kraken. They'll get next weekend off, though, before they travel to Fredericton to play the Western Flames in their next game on February 13th, still a couple weeks away. They have business to take care of here first, though, in Cape Breton, as the Lynx take it down deep into the zone. That is Avery McNeil wearing number 5 in the Lynx uniform as it's off the side of the net and out. And here comes Heidi Becks, the leading scorer on this Fundy Kraken team, has 7 points on the season. Captain of this club will dump it in and then head to the bench for a change as the Lynx take it in the other way. A weak shot from Isabel Perouche is right into the glove of Mara Gillespie, getting her first save of the morning out of the way. Draw will be to her right. And the draw is won by the Cape Breton Lynx. Stick handling out with it. That's Masson McCachran at the top of the slot. Lex to leave it down low for Jade Vickers. That's padded away there by Gillespie. Good save. Vickers possesses a weapon of a shot. You've seen that various occasions here this season. Cassie Cremo plays it up right as the Kraken are changing. It's out of the reach of McCachran, the forechecker. Fundy tries to take it back the other way. Mills in the middle of that battle for the Kraken, as it's finally dumped in by the Lynx. They were at the end of a change, so getting some fresh legs out there as the Kraken are quick to take it up the other way. The recipient of that pass was Peyton Garnett. Garnett in chase, but is beat to the puck by Mary Margaret McLean, the Lynx defender. Works his way back to McLean, where Rylan Gabriel was playing it off the ice. Told before the game that Gabriel is playing her 100th game with the Cape Breton Lynx organization. They had a senior day here last night, including 3 graduating players. So a weekend full of milestones for the Lynx team. As it's played up the wall, a 2-on-1 materializes here for the Kraken. Here's Ricketson, tried to get it through the legs of Gabriel, but she made a good block. It hit her left shin pad and knocked away, but a good opportunity there for the Kraken, taking it right down the ice there. It's Bria Ricketson tried to get that one through. We're going to have a penalty coming up. It's going to go against the Fundy Kraken. It's an interference call. We had a collision in the neutral zone. And for the first time today, we will get a look at the Cape Breton Lynx power play. 2 of their goals in yesterday's win coming on the 5-on-4 advantage. They've had a fairly strong power play this season, 21.4% clip, good for 5th in the league. And they'll get to work here against the Kraken penalty kill. The draw is won by the Lynx. They'll get set up here. Lee Sangioni on the close side half wall. Mishandled this. Knocked up to the line by the Kraken, but Gabriel holds the line. Down to Angioni. She's going to walk into the circle. Tried to go up high. A big block there by a Kraken defender. It's knocked away. Mishandled, though, by Gabriel. And Fundy gets it out. And out of nowhere comes Heidi Becks. Becks went up the wall. Is tied up there with a Lynx defender as Becks took it deep into the zone. Kill some more time off the clock here for the Kraken as Cassie Cremo leads the counterattack up the other way for the power play unit for the Lynx. Back to Cremo, the give and go in front as Lawand was charging the net. Lawand gets a swipe at it, but the goaltender Gillespie swaps it out of the way and out of harm's way. Backing off the puck, it's Mary Margaret McLean down low with Cremo. Angioni sells it down up at the top of the slot, leaves it for Vickers. Lets it go through a crowd off the shin pads of a Kraken player. Not afraid to block some shots. We've seen that 3 or 4 times already on this penalty kill. From a tight angle was McCachran. Alert blocker saved by Gillespie. McCachran's going to retreat to the close side point. Up top for Vickers, looking at her shooting options as McLean jumps off the bench over to her left side, and Mary Margaret McLean will play it up, but it's out of the reach of her teammate and down the ice as some tired Kraken killers get a break and will head off the ice. 29 seconds left to go on this initial Cape Breton Lynx power play of the hockey game. It's Avery McNeil taking it up, gets tied up at the blue line, but manages the pass to teammate Julia Brown. Brown in the receive of it below the goal line, but the Kraken will steal it and shoot it down the ice. Cremo caught up, and a Kraken player is going to steal it there. That's going to be Catherine Dickey taking it to the corner, and she's going to manage to kill the rest of the time off this clock as her teammate Sarah Duguay steps out of the box. A big early game kill here for the Fundy Kraken. Some good blocks and some good clears. Lynx's Julia Brown tied up into the zone. She was mobbed by a trio of Fundy players. Works into the zone, though, for Elise Angioni in support. Angioni goes in one-on-one at the far side faceoff dot. Drop pass, and it's off the crossbar. Took a funny bounce toward the net. Kate Ford initially wristed that from way back at the point, and it worked its way through. But the post stopped as Gillespie kicks that off on the second attempt in. Over to Vickers. Wide side for Kate Ford. In behind the net. Vickers lets the slapper go. Gillespie was ready for that. Couple alert saves, especially on the blocker side, for number 32 in the Kraken net, as some Fundy players change up. Log jam in the neutral zone. Bootleer was forking at that. Gets it just as far up as her teammate Leger, but gets away. So Vickers will settle it down for the Lynx as some teammates change. Vickers almost mishandled it. And a player goes down in the corner. Vickers went down, but still managed to get it up to Lawan. Centering pass out of the reach of Avery McNeil, who was caught there awkwardly in the backhand. Over to Isabelle Prouche, tied up there. Good alert stick by Leger, breaking that up. Kraken will settle it down. Picked off at center ice by McLean. 13:28 to go in this hockey game. No score yet between the Lynx and the Fundy Kraken. Shots are an even 2-2. As Isabella Wilcox is the lead forechecker in for the Kraken. Taken out the other way, though. Good effort by Avery McNeil to get it to her teammate Prouche at center ice. And some tired Lynx forwards tried to go for the change, but they iced the puck, so they're going to have to step on out there and battle out a big defensive zone draw. With 13:09 on the clock here in the first frame in member 2. Face off to the left of Ellie Power. As mentioned, at a big game Friday night. She's had a busy weekend. Only held the Subway Selects to 2 goals in that 3-1 loss that the Lynx suffered on Friday night, but kept it close to the very end. Thanks in part to Power's heroics, as Prouche gets in a foot race with Bootleer. Way over the net to play it as Mara Gillespie, and makes a great pass up to her teammate Heidi Becks up at the blue line. It's going to be stalled by the Lynx in the neutral zone as teams go back and forth a little bit. Working that in deep is Sarah Duguay. She'll retreat to the blue line. Second attempt to get it out. That's Julia Brown. Goes east to west pass for McCachran. He's going to wheel in from the tight angle, front of the net. Oh, that was off a stick as a play materialized in the crease. But it was out of the way of Gillespie, so no scoring chance on that one. Relayed up by the Lynx. It's Brown mishandled it. Battle ensues along the boards as Gabrielle Richard trying to muscle that into the Lynx zone. But Cape Breton's going to take it out the other way. Lisa Angioni and Gabrielle Richard going for it. Richard wins the foot race. Runs into a jam with the Lynx forecheckers below the goal line. Cape Breton tries to settle it down, but a Kraken player rim it up along the boards. Picked off by Vickers. She's in deep on a pinch. And floater of a puck goes wide. Sarah Duguay looking for her winger up the boards. Fought down and trying to swing that around on a scoring chance was Jayla Andrews deep in the zone. But Leger will finally get it out of the Kraken end and afford her teammates a change. So Lynx try to jump on this and go the other way. For a fresh set of legs off the bench, the Kraken are in the zone, a 1-on-3, and that is caught by the goaltender, Ellie Power, for the save. Good opportunity for Lauren Little coming off the bench with a head of steam to start that one. Draw will be to the left of Ellie Power. Face-off won by the Lynx. Lawan thought about playing it, but she's going to leave that to her teammate, Rylan Gabriel. Missed the pass as Perucha's in pursuit of a foot race with Little for the icing call, and she's going to win the race. Getting some help in behind from Lawand as the Lynx secure possession deep in Kraken territory. Played up as Bex will exit the zone. Gets it around McLean, and Heidi Bex trying to form a 2-on-1 here for her teammates. Up there on the rush with Dickey. Squirted it out of Dickey's grasp. This is back up the other way as the Lynx try to exit the zone. And they do. Isabel Peruche thought about going for a skate, but will go with her teammates to the bench for a line change. So Kraken look for a response here. Going to skate out of the zone. Good maneuvers by Ella Boutlier. Looking for that pass over on the far side. Nobody was home though, and her teammates will change. Jade Vickers, she's going to go for a skate. Cross the red line, then the blue. Vickers in alone. She has room. Fanned on the shot though. Getting out front. The shot scores! Jade Vickers making up for it. Setting up Julia Brown all alone in front of the Fundy Kraken net. We have the first goal of this hockey game to the Cape Breton Lynx. It's 1-0. We've seen Jade Vickers do that a lot this season. She's fourth amongst defenders in the league in scoring. Notched her 30th point of the campaign yesterday. Now we're 31st with that assist. Setting up her teammate Julia Brown. A good coast-to-coast effort for number 10 in the Cape Breton Lynx uniform. And will give her team the 1-0 lead here. Midway through this first period in member 2. Knocked down in the zone by Masson McCachran. In chase of that is the goal scorer Brown. But the Kraken will break that up quickly. Will head down working the other way. Going for a skater is Lauren Little. Little enters the zone to drop pass. Teammate is tied up. It's gotten back fairly quickly though. Mayelle Somerville leaves that for her defender, and the shot from distance from Richard is off a stick and over top the cage. Brown works it up the boards. Little on the backhand, looks at her options, tied up quickly there by McCachran. A battle ensues between the players' benches. It's brought into the zone. Shot is high and wide. Some tired Fundy Kraken forwards heading off the ice there. Now they got some fresh legs. Heidi Bex hustles and breaks up the exit pass by the Lynx. Cape Breton's going to recover here as Angioni settles it down. Off the boards, almost hit the official there. Enough to get it up and over the line though. Angioni takes a bump. Beck's working to get that puck back for the Kraken, but instead Vickers will secure it for Cape Breton. Jay Vickers with the spin backhand pass to Angioni. She'll enter the zone and hit the brakes on the close side. Leaves it in down low. Andrews is in pursuit of Boutlier. Boutlier will hit the brakes and is taken down on the play in a battle there with Andrews. And both the Lynx and the Kraken go down a number of times over on the far side. And Fundy's going to come out of a series of puck battles with the puck, but only for a second as Angioni had more to do on the forecheck there. Both of these teams carry some very disruptive forechecks. We've seen that a lot this weekend from Fundy as well as from the Cape Breton Lynx, especially on that last shift led by Angioni and Brown. Kate Ford playing up with the Cape Breton Lynx this weekend, who are nursing injuries to two key defenders, including Olivia Morel, who was hurt in the Friday night game against the Subway Selects. Kate Ford playing her third game of the year with the Lynx as an affiliate player on the blue line, paired up with Jade Vickers this morning. 8:15 left in the period. Just moments ago, Julia Brown taking a pass from Jade Vickers for the opening goal of the hockey game. So the Cape Breton Lynx find themselves with a 1-0 lead here midway through the first period. There's a pair of Kraken pinning a Lynx player up along the boards. So a frozen puck. Another defender goes in as Vickers tried to get it back, but the Kraken tried to make something there as a Fundy player went down, charging the net as Peyton Garnett tried to get loose, getting a shot off. Big block there on the follow-up by Isabelle Perouche into her shin pads. Hillary Lawand on a one-on-one against Marshall. Lawand with the head of steam, breaks in alone, scores! What a goal by Hillary Lawand. Goes coast to coast, a nice maneuver, and is able to slip it through the legs of Mara Gillespie to double the lead here in the first period for the Cape Breton Lynx, and they make it 2-0. Lawand with her 6th goal of the season. And that was probably her nicest of the year there. Made a great play on the backhand shelter of the puck to win that one-on-one battle against the defender. And made no mistake going in all alone on the goaltender and picking her spot to double up her team's lead here midway through the first period. So the Lynx find themselves with a decent lead here early in the hockey game. Back to Ryland Gabriel as Cape Breton is right back into the zone with it. Off a stick, and that goes wide. Layla Austin had a little bit of room. Try and get a shot there. Austin scored on 2 occasions last night in the first half of this back-to-back series here, member 2, between these two clubs. She's also had a good weekend for the Cape Breton Lynx as they're right back in with it. It's Austin going in 1-on-2, is going to spin around. Good alert stick there, though. Trying to fight that out of the zone was Sarah Duguay. Duguay, a very powerful player for this Fundy Kraken team, took it all into her own hands to carry it right out of the zone, and now her team will thank her. Getting possession secured deep in Lynx territory. Cape Breton trying to work it out. McCacherin centering pass right on the tape for Jayla Andrews, who will throw it into the Fundy end, and her teammates will go for a change. Played up the wall. Long pass off the stick of Catherine Dickey. Lost control of it, so she'll head to the bench. Lauren Little jumps onto the ice. Little will dump it in and let her forecheckers go after it. Jade Vickers is on the puck first for the Lynx. Perouche out of her reach. So the Kraken defenders go D to D as they get the puck back. Little, good alert stick, and looks at her options. Off a teammate, but eventually makes the pass up to Leger, who takes it in the zone. She's supported off to her left by Peyton Garnett, but are going to lose it to the Cape Breton Lynx here. Angioni plays it up the wall. Nobody was home. Team's playing a little bit of hot potato here, going back and forth with the puck possession, but Cassie Cremo is going to walk in. That's off the leg of Boutlier, a big block for the Kraken defender, and that goes wide. Boutlier played it up the wall to Legier. Legier couldn't handle it, so Fundy will try to get it out again here. 5:20 left in the first period here. The Lynx finding a pair of goals here early in the first period. Julia Brown with the first. And just moments ago, Hillary Lawand, a great coast-to-coast effort to put the Lynx back on the board here in this first period. Rimmed up along the wall, and chance here for the Fundy Kraken emerging. It's LeBlanc coming in, tries to jump around the defender and almost had enough time to swing the stick at it and make a Forsberg-style maneuver, maybe to push it past Ellie Power, but couldn't quite reach it, and Power's going to cover up for a good save. And the face-off will be to her left here, just under the 5-minute mark of the opening frame here this morning in member 2. Face-off won by the Kraken. Jamming at that was Ricketson. Couldn't get the stick on it, though. Little will take it back in herself for Fundy. Jade Vickers will recover the puck and behind her own net and is going to go for a skate. Jade Vickers already has an assist tonight, showing a lot of speed, and she's going to open herself up for a potential shooting opportunity. Elects to hold on to the puck and look for her teammate McCacker in front of the net, but the pass is wide. Tied up in the neutral zone. The Kraken will come away with it. That's Heidi Becks. making the play up the ice to her teammate Richard. Gabrielle Richard steps across the line. Good drop pass to Dickey. She has some time and space. Big block there by Vickers. Richard swinging all the way around the net. Leaves it for Duguay. Back to Richard on the far side. Going to take a bump on the puck. Her teammate is in there for support. Dickey tried to work it back to her defender, but the Lynx are going to come out of the zone with it across the red line, and then the blue is Layla Austin. Austin finds a gear, throwing it in toward the front of the net. A good alert poke check there by Mara Gillespie to knock that out of harm's way before a scoring chance could materialize for the Cape Breton Lynx. Cape Breton trying to keep the pressure up in the Fundy zone. Kraken will get it up the center ice, and we're going to have a penalty here. It's going to go against the Cape Breton Lynx, a tripping call. And for the first time this morning, the Fundy Kraken will head to the 5-on-4 advantage. A good opportunity after a couple of solid shifts down in the Cape Breton Lynx zone to put one past Ellie Power and get back in this hockey game here late in the first. Summer Gilliand taking the draw against Lawand for the Lynx, and Gilliand will win it for the Kraken. Oh, an alert save there by Ellie Powers. Gilliand drove right to the net. Heidi Becks now has the puck for the Kraken. Distance shot for Richard. Squirted off over to the side where Haley LeBlanc will pinch in down low. LeBlanc playing the close side half wall. She has lots of room here. Made the play down. Ellie Power will barely cover up under immense pressure from a pair of power play Kraken players there. And it's covered up, so the teams will change up each of their units. Still another minute 32 to go on this tripping call charged to the Lynx's Layla Austin. Kraken are out shooting the Cape Breton Lynx in this hockey game right now by a 5-4 margin. As Little comes away with it off the face-off win, squirted over to Mills, and that went through the crease. Kraken really knocking at the Lynx's door here early in this hockey game. Knocked down low by Catherine Dickey to hold the line for Fundy. Thrown on net, and that's blockered away by Ellie Power. Alert save. Dickey relays it back for Little. Dickey took a tumble in the corner, and a good stick by Avery McNeil, who's going to generate a chance for herself. Cutting in toward the net, tried to drive Gillespie's crease, but was sticked away. Mara Gillespie. We've seen that a couple times from her today with either the poke checks or coming over net to play it. Very active goaltender for this Fundy Kraken team, and broke up a scoring chance there. Lauren Little walking to the slot zone, and that's off the skate of Jade Vickers. Squirted over to Bootlier, and she's going to have some time. Went for the high shot. I believe that hit a body out front, but it's enough for the Lynx to dump it down as the Kraken got really close on a few occasions on that last stint as some tired Cape Breton Lynx penalty killers head off the ice. Knocked into the zone by Garnett, and the Kraken get it deep in the Lynx territory again. 20 seconds until Austin jumps out of the box for the Lynx. Still a 5-4 until that point, as LeBlanc tried to jab at it toward Powers' crease. Heavy shot played out by Rylan Gabriel, and that's down the ice now over net. The play is Gillespie on a tee for Gabriel Richard, her teammate, and that will do it for the Kraken power play. Neither team able to register a goal on either of their first power play opportunities in this hockey game. Both teams had one chance. We're just over the minute mark remaining in this hockey game. Layla Austin walking in the zone at the top of the slot, was looking high glove on Gillespie, but that shot whistled wide. LeBlanc on the counterattack the other way, looking for her teammate Peyton Garnett up in front of the Lynx bench. The pass failed, but the Kraken get it back, and it'll look again, but that was just as the forwards were changing for Fundy. 50 seconds now in the period as Jade Vickers sells it down for the Lynx. Hillary Lewan coming in. She already has a goal today on a breakaway, trying to generate another one for herself. Good defense there, though, by the Kraken blue liner. Breaking up a chance there on what almost turned out to a breakaway. Lewan's been all over the place today for the Cape Breton Lynx. Battle in front of the Kraken penalty box. Heidi Becks had the puck originally, but Cassie Cremo will come away with it for Cape Breton. Tried to flick it. That shot was wide of the net. Back to Cremo in behind Gillespie's cage, trying to jab it over to Vickers, who is coming off the point, trying to get a shot off, over to Avery McNeil, and will roll in front of the goaltender, Mara Gillespie, who will cover up the puck with only 5.7 to go, 5.7 seconds to go in the frame here in this first period of member 2. Face off to the left of Gillespie. Maybe one more scoring chance here for the Lynx before the teams head to the dressing room for the break. It's pinned up along the wall there by Duguay, and that will do it for the first period. And although the Kraken out shooting the Lynx in this game so far by a 7-5 count, it's Julia Brown and Hillary Lewan finding the back of the net for the host team here in member 2. And Lynx head to the dressing room with a 2-0 advantage after 20 minutes. You're watching Maritime Major Girls Hockey League action here on High Button Sports. The teams will head to the break over to their rooms, and we'll take a break too. In about 10 minutes, we'll return for second period action here in member 2. So stick around, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Member 2 for the second period of this Maritime Major Girls Hockey League matchup between the Fundy Kraken and the Cape Breton Lynx after 20 minutes of play. The Lynx up by a 2-0 score. They got goals that period from Julia Brown and Hillary Lawand, and that's the difference so far in this hockey game. It's been tightly contested though. 7-5 shot total in favor of the Fundy Kraken so far in this hockey game. That's what it's been, close all weekend. Although the score was run up late in yesterday's game in favor of the Cape Breton Lynx, it was a 2-0 game until well into the third period here last night in the first half of this weekend back-to-back between these teams. So we know we got more good hockey coming. It's certainly been exciting this weekend. And for the Kraken, although not an ideal season for them, been a tough go, just the one win this year. They have been battling hard out here, giving the Lynx all they can handle. And not to mention that win came against the Cape Breton Lynx earlier this season, all the way on November 8th. So they never give Cape Breton an easy time, as we've seen here today. It's been very close, and a flick of the stick or two can change everything for these clubs. As we're underway in the second frame, and Fundy is down with the puck to start things off on the fresh sheet of ice here. That rolled over to Ellie Powernet, who bobbled it, and now you don't see that often. It was a quick whistle from the referee who thought the puck was covered. You actually, if you looked on your screen there, you could see the referee point his head upward into the air, kind of in frustration that he blew the whistle a bit early, and I think he skated over to the goaltender Power to perhaps apologize for the quick whistle. Good to see that stuff sometimes from referees, always striving themselves to get better at the game, just like the players do. It's played in behind the net by the Cape Breton Lynx off the face-off. Julia Brown played up for Lisa Angioni. Muscled off the puck by Bex, but it's given away to Layla Austin. Austin cuts in, sticked away by Gillespie. A good individual effort there by Austin to muscle through a pair of Kraken defenders. And she's going to walk out with the puck here again. Tight angle, Gillespie hugs the post for another big save here in the first 45 seconds of this second frame. Rylan Gabriel tries to get on some of the offensive fun, but as soon as she got across the blue line, it was poke-checked away from a Kraken opponent. Lauren Little maneuvering behind her own net before making the outlet pass for her teammate Heidi Becks. Mary Margaret McLean will settle things down their own zone. Passed it over to teammate Avery McNeil. McNeil looking for Perush at the line. It was through her feet, and it didn't hit anybody on the way in, so it'll be an icing call charged to the Cape Breton Lynx. Just a minute and 20 seconds into the second frame here. Draw will be to the right of the goaltender, Ellie Power. And it's shot right back down the ice again. The Kraken gaining control. That's Sarah Duguay in behind the net, the assistant captain for this Fundy team. Shot by McLean was fanned on, and Duguay will pick it up again in that battle against Perush of the Lynx. Rung around the boards where Jade Vickers is down low on the pinch. Duguay will muscle her off the puck, and we'll get it back again. Looking for the centering pass. Nobody was home, as it's played in down low by Jayla Andrews. Bounces off the boards and will roll up to Mara Gillespie, who will opt for the whistle there on the slow-moving puck. Still early on in this frame. 18:03 left to play in the middle period. As mentioned, after today's game, the Kraken will get next weekend off before heading to Fredericton to play their Highway 7 rivals in Fredericton, playing the Western Flames. Meanwhile, the Lynx are right back at it next week in what is sure to be a huge road trip against the Greenfoot Caps, as both of those teams currently duking it out for an all-important third-place position in the Nova Scotia playoff picture standings. There's 4 teams here in Nova Scotia. Playoffs will be 1v4 and 2v3, best of 5 series. And if the Lynx can catch the Caps, they can perhaps secure themselves a bit more of a favorable matchup against the second place team here in Nova Scotia instead of the first. But that's something to worry about next weekend, as they still have business to take care of against the Fundy Kraken here. And now they'll have to kill off a Kraken power play. Fundy will head to their second 5-on-4 advantage of the afternoon, as Jayla Andrews will head to the box on account of a body check. And Fundy will win the face-off and get their power play set up. Quarterbacking the 5-on-4 advantage is Haley LeBlanc, wearing number 7 on the far side for Fundy. Gets some help from her teammates along the board there. That's Summer Gilliand, pinning a Lynx penalty killer along the board and earning possession of the puck back. But the pass is errant and is dumped down the ice by Kate Ford, getting some penalty killing responsibilities as the affiliate player up in the lineup here for the Lynx. Good pass up to Leger, doing a great job to pick it up and in a bit of an awkward position on the backhand. But a pair of Lynx players were quick to pounce on that opportunity and are able to use it to get the puck up and out of the zone. Puck is off a stanchion, and we're going to have another penalty coming up. There was a collision in neutral zone and another body checking call. And I believe the Fundy Kraken are going to get a huge opportunity here with the Cape Breton Lynx's Layla Austin heading to the box for 2 minutes or less now. So the Fundy Kraken, they have a bit of a meeting at the bench. We'll go to the 5-on-3. They'll be on a 5-on-3 for 1 minute and 11 seconds. A big chance for them to get on the board here. Here's Ella Boutlier waiting up at the top. Little knocks it down to her teammate Mills. Picked up again down low, gets it up for Sarah Duguay at the top of the close side circle. Duguay through a crowd, and Ellie Power finds it through traffic to cover it up and make the save. Kraken pushing here in the first few seconds of this 5-on-3 opportunity as a pair of Cape Breton Lynx players head off on identical body checking calls. As Sydney Mills steps in for the draw, it's a tie-up, it's a big one at that. A piece of a stick or a piece of equipment rolls back toward the Kraken blue line, but Fundy will hold on to possession of the puck. Dancing with it the other side is Lauren Little, who tried to force it through a crowd. It's kept in by Boutlier, good strong stick. She's going to walk in, top of the slot. That's off the hand of Mary Margaret McNeil. A big block for the Lynx defender. She's favoring her left hand. She's going to head right to the bench and is really sore after that one, as that was a very hard shot off the tape of Ella Boutlier. But a big block here for the Lynx penalty killers. 12 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Down low, Little tried to slide that along the ice and perhaps get a favorable deflection. But it's a one and done as it's kicked away and cleared down the ice by Ryland Gabriel. So Jayla Andrews will step out of the box. We're back to a 5-on-4 power play for the Kraken rather than a 5-on-3. A big penalty kill so far here for the Cape Breton Lynx. Leger takes it into the zone for Fundy, but that's going to bounce away. Relayed up for Perouche. They'll throw it deep into the zone around Boutlier. Sarah Duguay is first on that puck. Hillary Lawand for checking for the penalty killers in the T formation. Boutlier is going to loop back under that pressure from Perouche. Some good passing here from the Kraken to get set up in the other zone, get through the neutral zone. Leger off the blocker of Ellie Power. She's made a couple of big saves on that power play, which is now just about to end as Layla Austin exits the Lynx penalty box. A big kill there for the Cape Breton Lynx as the Kraken had some real good looks on that power play, including a minute 11 section of 5-on-3 play. But the Lynx are able to hold them off the board so far. Leger headed down low for Fundy, but Avery McNeil is going to go for a skate for the Cape Breton Lynx. From east to west on the ice and is going to take a bump along the boards there from Heidi Becks. Knocking her way off possession of the puck, and now Becks will try to get it out of the Fundy zone. Jayla Andrews gets it down low over to McCachran. Gets away from her as Jade Vickers fights with it along the wall, and coming out with that is Catherine Dickey with the head of steam up the ice for the Fundy Kraken, covered by fellow number 10, Jade Vickers of the Lynx. And Cape Breton will fight the puck away. Andrews getting up the ice for Brown. Into the feet of McCachran now. Comes to a standstill at the Kraken blue line. So McCachran steps across the ice. Takes a bump there from Somerville. As Beck settles it down in the corner. Over to Andrews. Shoots it in behind the net. Angioni tied up there with the Kraken's Bria Ricketson. Good puck battle ongoing down the corner. As McLean gets it up at the line, over to the back door. Layla Austin was over there, but couldn't find a way to knock that puck in the direction of the net for a scoring chance. So Kraken settle things down. Somerville toward the line. Couldn't quite get it out. Good job by the Lynx to hold it. It's Layla Austin already with a goal here this weekend. Drops it back. Ryland Gabriel, big blocker save by Mara Gillespie. Coming out aggressively over the net to fight that puck off. In behind the net now. An immense bout of pressure here from the Lynx. Attempting to play it up at the end of a long shift was Layla Austin. She'll head to the bench. But Angioni and co. hold it down along the line for the Lynx. Get a couple cracks in on net from close range, and Angioni steps back and lets it rip. But Gillespie saw it all the way. She's made some pretty good saves here this morning so far for the Kraken, especially in the second period as the Lynx trying to push to extend their lead. But Gillespie is not letting that happen here as we approach the midway point of the second period here. Remember to tie up off the draw. It head come back toward the Lynx players, but it'll be Fundy who secures the puck possession. Immediately taken away, though. Here comes Cassie Cremo for Cape Breton. Cremo bumped off it by Marshall, tries to spin away. Some help from Perush on the cycle down low for the Cape Breton Lynx. Hillary Lawand out there too. Lawand, one of the 2 goal scorers for the Cape Breton Lynx so far this hockey game. Cremo, backdoor pass over to Perush. I don't think Perush was prepared, though. It skipped over his stick and wide. Down for Vickers, down to Perush. Working the far side half wall with Lawand. Over to Vickers at the point in front of the Lynx bench. And that's off a stick. And we're going to get a call here, and I believe the Kraken are going to go to the penalty box this time. Some pushing and shoving going up in front of the net. It's going to be a head contact penalty. Heading to the box to serve that is Summer Gilliand. It's going to be a 2-minute call, so the Cape Breton Lynx will get their second power play of their game, their first of the second frame. A big penalty kill draw there by the Kraken, and the arm immediately goes up again, this time from the back referee. And I think the Kraken are getting another one here. No, I was wrong. It'll be the Cape Breton Lynx taking the penalty on that one. The whistle was blown as the Kraken had the puck, so. But nonetheless, Lawand will sit for 2 minutes here. We're going to get a minute and 58 of 4-on-4 action here between these teams. So a very, very short-lived Cape Breton Lynx power play, only 2 seconds before that's offset by a Hillary Lawand penalty. So the ice will open up a little bit more here for each of the team's scorers. And that's Heidi Becks, the team's leading scorer, coming up with it. Becks cornered by a Lynx defender. Good stick there by Cassie Cremo, would punch it loose. But Dickey will get it back in down low in Lynx territory for the Kraken. First on the puck is Becks, and she's going to take it. Tried to swing in behind her. She's taken out of the play by Gabriel. And Gabriel will head to the box for that one. It's a cross-checking penalty charged to number 18, the assistant captain of the Lynx. So now the Fundy Kraken will head to a power play of their own. So it'll start off as a 4-on-3 power play. Kraken have had a couple of power play opportunities here in this period so far. Haven't cashed in just yet, including a minute 11 5-on-3 earlier on. As they get set up. But depending who you ask on the ice in terms of hockey players, some will prefer the 4-on-3 attack as preferred to the 5-on-3. One less player, possibly keeping options simpler. As Boutelier lets it go. Big blocker save by Ellie Power. She found it through some traffic. That's Haley LeBlanc on the far side for Fundy. Drops it over. Duguay lets it rip. Camped out in front of the net, trying to get the tip on that was Payne Garnett. As Ella Boutelier will walk in. Big shot block there by Angioni, but the rebound comes over to Fundy. Off the pad, rebound. Oh, what a stop by Ellie Power. Garnett in front of the net got a great opportunity off, and somehow Power got the right pad over to make a miraculous save here on the penalty kill for the Cape Breton Lynx. Still another minute and 22 to go on the power play for the Fundy Kraken. It'll eventually turn over to a 5-on-4 power play, as in 50 seconds, a player from each team will step out of the box. Boutelier at the top of the slot, looking close side for Lauren Little. It's out of Little's reach in front of her. Lauren Little will cut in behind the net. Getting a stick here by the defender Ford. Up to Boutelier on the close side point. Possesses a heavy shot, and she's been using it big time today as it's gobbled up by Power in front of the Lynx net. Doing a good job to find the puck, as the Kraken are doing well to cause havoc in front of the net and not make things easy on the Lynx goaltender. But she's been standing tall so far in this game as we hit the midway point of the second period. Still another minute to go in this most recent Fundy Kraken power play, as it is won by the Lynx. And they'll shoot it down 200 feet over net to play. It is Gillespie teeing it up for teammate Ella Boutelier, who will quarterback this charge back into the other zone. It'll be 10 seconds before Gilliand jumps out of the penalty box for the Fundy Kraken. That'll make it a 5-on-3 for 2 seconds, and then a 5-on-4 as Lawan gets out for the Lynx. Jamming at it. Great opportunity for Heidi Beck's point-blank range. Ellie Power stands tall again. A big pad save. So now we're at 5-on-4. At LeBlanc in behind the net. Haley LeBlanc comes loose at the far side half wall. Lay it for her teammate Little up there supporting. LeBlanc and Little going back and forth. But a good penalty kill effort here by Lawan, jamming at it right out of the penalty box. Tried to get it out, but she couldn't. The Kraken do well to hold it in. Boutelier is going to hit the brakes, turn the other way. Lawan with Gabriel jumping out of the box. Breakaway here potentially for the Lynx. Rylan Gabriel all alone. Oh, what a save by Mara Gillespie, flashing the leather there on Rylan Gabriel of the Cape Breton Lynx right out of the penalty box. Just as the Cape Breton Lynx killed off a 4-on-3 and then 5-on-4 power play, Gillespie with a huge stop for the Fundy Kraken to keep the score at 2-0 here in the second period in member 2. Fundy Kraken win the draw, taken away immediately by the Lynx. Massa McAkron with the wrap try, and Gillespie will hug the post on her glove side to put a stop to that. So the Kraken will change up their players. Long change here in the second period. Fundy keeping it close, out shooting Cape Breton by a 14-12 margin here as we enter the second half of the second period. And coming up and out of the zone with it are the Kraken, but it's Mary Margaret McLean, first player back for the Cape Breton Lynx. Up the wall, Perush will deflect that up and out of the zone. Players from both the teams are hollering at something, didn't quite see what. Mara Gillespie way out of the net to play the puck there. As we've seen today, she's not afraid to get aggressive to make the save. Passed out front, chance for McAkron, scores! And the Cape Breton Lynx finally beat Gillespie here in the second period. That went up in the air and it was knocked down. I'm not sure if that'll affect who the scoring credit goes to. I didn't see if a Lynx player or a Kraken player hit it out of the air. But nonetheless, the Lynx will get their third goal of the hockey game here. Isabel Perush is the lead skater by the Cape Breton Lynx bench on the flyby. So it looks like that is who will get the credit for that goal. And Perush with a big one here in the second period for the Cape Breton Lynx to extend the lead to 3-0. Quick conversation with the official between one of the players. But now we will play on with the face-off at center ice. 8:10 to go in the period. The Cape Breton Lynx, with their 3-0 goal, Isabel Perouche takes advantage of the scoring chance. It squirts away, came to Angioni. Throwing up at the net. Gillespie thought she had it on the first time come through the crease. Had mishandled it, but made no mistake there the second time. I believe that was Perouche who batted it out of the air. If so, excellent hand-eye coordination there for the Cape Breton Lynx forward. Perouche, her third goal of the campaign, moves her up to 6 points on the year. Face off now to the left of the goaltender, Gillespie. It's won by the Lynx. Over to Kate Ford. Ford, that's off pair of shin pads. Pride out front and charging the net. Julia Brown trying to shovel that through, but Gillespie knocks it away. A good effort there by the goaltender. Kate Ford hustles back. D-to-D pass to Vickers. That's up into the neutral zone, but it's off a skate and to a standstill. Lynx re-secure puck possession. It's picked off there. Garnett takes the puck away. Almost squirted over to Bria Ricketson, who was looking at an open net, but couldn't settle down the knuckle puck for the save. Counterattack, Layla Austin leaned away. Austin, oh, what a move through the legs. And she hit the post on that one. A great individual effort. She's going to draw the penalty on that as she got tied up with Summer Gilliand behind the Kraken net. And not only a good scoring chance for the Cape Breton Lynx, but Layla Austin, who's been having a great weekend here in this weekend series, is going to draw a penalty here, so the Lynx will go to the power play. $7:14 to go here in the second period. Now a 3-0 game in favor of the Cape Breton Lynx. Tie up off the draw, but it comes back to the Cape Breton defenders. That's Jade Vickers. Over to the close side, Masson McCachran will spin off her defender. Over to McLean at the close side. That shot is well wide of the net. That hit the glass. Down for Masson McCachran, worked up the boards as Mayel Somerville will clear the zone for the Fundy Kraken. Minute 34 to play on this power play. The penalty went to Summer Gillian for a trip. The Fundy Kraken penalty kill has been perfect so far today. Killed off a trio of Lynx penalties. Drop back to McCachran. That's off a leg. A big block there by Lauren Little. She stuck up the knee to get in front of the puck on that one. Jade Vickers went for that pass. A little too much mustard on that one from McCachran. Play down into the corner. It's a one-on-one battle as Duguay pins her player up along the boards. That was Lawan. Tried to get it to the back door to Ryland Gabriel, but it was out of her reach. Austin holds the line. Cross-ice pass. That was intended for Lawan. Up top, McCachran with a bit of a shot fake. Plays it down back in the corner for Lawan, who takes a bump there from Sarah Duguay. Looking at her options, Julia Brown for Gabriel through a crowd. Good hand-eye there from LaWand, who takes a bump. And we're going to get some 5-on-3 action here for the Cape Breton Lynx. It's going to be an interference call against the Fundy Kraken here. So for 31 seconds, the Lynx will be on the two-player advantage here on this power play. That's Sarah Duguay going to the box. One of this team's most important penalty killers will be without her for this one on a 5-on-3. And the draw is won by Cape Breton. Will get set up. Gabriel plays it down. Angioni through a crowd. There is a pair of Lynx players wide open in front of the net, but the puck bounced away. Vickers plays up top for Angioni. Shoots. Fan on it. Gillespie can't handle it, and Cremo puts away the rebound for her second goal in as many games this weekend here. Cassie Cremo cleans it up in front of the net, and it's a power play goal for the Cape Breton Lynx to make it 4-0. So Cassie Cremo, actually she scored in her last 3 games. She's up to 17 on the year. 20th in league scoring with that one. Great season for one of the seniors here, one of the third-year players on the Cape Breton Lynx. And we're going to have a penalty coming up against Cape Breton as Catherine Dickey was hit to the ice at center ice. It's a head contact call that's going to be coming up. And I believe it's going to be an extended power play when the time comes for the Fundy Kraken as the referee signals 4 minutes to Avery McNeil, a double minor for head contact. However, there's a minute 33 left in the first penalty to the Kraken's Sarah Duguay. So we're going to get a minute and a half here of 4-on-4 action, and then about 2.5 minutes of a Fundy Kraken power play as we enter the final 5 minutes of the second period here. Perouche is up with the puck. Played up for her teammate McCachran. McCachran is first to it. Pressured there by Ella Boutlier. He's going to lose it to Perouche. Tried to throw it out front. And the shot from Vickers. And Gillespie just holds on there. She hasn't faced a ton of easy shots tonight, but did well to hold on to that one. Draw will be to the goaltender's left. Still a 4-on-4 action here for another minute and 13. 4:57 to go in the period. Vickers will fork that into the corner, will pick up the puck herself. They'll settle it down, get some possession settled here in the zone. Perouche headed for a moment and is going to slash a Kraken player, knocks the stick out of Boutlier's hands. The referee was right there, and most referees are going to call that every time if the stick is knocked out of your hands. So Lynx will go back to the power play here. So when the time comes, we're going to have a 5-on-3 in favor of the Fundy Kraken. The Kraken at a 5-on-3 and a 4-on-3 this period. And they're going to head to the 4-on-3 power play here with one of their own stepping out of the box in 56 seconds to make it a 5-on-3. So another big chance here for the Fundy Kraken. Looking to find a goal or two perhaps before heading to the dressing room for the break. What a time to do it right now on the 4-on-3 power play. The Lynx do good to hold, to win the draw and then hold it. That's Mary Margaret McLean keeping the puck frozen in behind her own net. And the referee says enough is enough. Frozen puck. Will redo the face-off over in the same spot on the far side, I believe. That was Isabel Perouche on the head. On the most recent penalty, rather, on the slash, I should say, not the head contact. So it's played right to the net. Jillian is right there on top of Ellie Power. Couldn't get the shot off. It's played up for Heidi Becks. Becks at the top of the circle. Over to the far side. That was Haley LeBlanc with it. Returns the favor to Becks. Becks from the top of the slot. A big block there. And a gutsy one by Layla Austin, who is first in the foot race up the ice. But Gillespie is well out of her net to play it. It's going to tee it up for her teammate Catherine Dickey. And she'll lead the rush come down the other way for the Kraken. Catherine Dickey across the red line, then the blue secures the zone entry. Somerville tried to get that shot off. Bounced over to Dickey, and Somerville will come in and support. Sarah Duguay is out of the box, so a 5-on-3 now for the next minute for the Fundy Kraken. Jumping out on the ice is Gabrielle Richard in support of her power play unit. Heidi Becks lets a shot go. It's a floater through a crowd, and Ellie Power tracks it through all the way. Has been tracking the puck really well this afternoon, keeping the Kraken off the board thus far as Fundy will change up their power play unit. 49 seconds to go here on this 5-on-3 advantage. 3:28 to go in the period. 4-0 still the score in favor of the Lynx. Draw to the left of Ellie Power. Lauren Little come away with it as Fundy won the draw. Boutlier waits and looks at her options at the top of the slot area. Boutlier gets the return pass. Relays it down low for Duguay. Duguay fanned on it, but got the rebound attempt there from her teammate Sydney Mills. But Ellie Power gobbles it up again. A big save from close range. 27 seconds now to go before Isabel Perouche jumps out of the box to make it 5-on-4. Still 5-on-3 for the Fundy Kraken, who win another draw. Sarah Duguay walks up top. That's off the shin pads, picks up her own rebound and tried to fork it through the crowd. That was Sydney Mills with it. Mills elects to roll it along the boards back to Duguay. Up at the close side point, tipped toward the goal. Power trying to hold it. And the Kraken think they scored on that one. They knocked it in after the play, but the referee is waving it off immediately. Duguay tries to plead with the official there, but the goal is not going to stand. So close to the Kraken finally breaking the ice in this hockey game. But the whistle was blown before, so no goal that time. Still another 5 seconds remaining on this 5-on-3 power play for Fundy. Perush about to jump out of the box, so it'll be 5-on-4 for another minute 22 as the Lynx come up with another big penalty kill here on the first part of this Kraken power play. It's knocked down the ice that time again. Julia Brown, the lead forechecker here for the penalty killers. Brown takes a bump from Richard, joined there by her teammate Bex. Two Kraken players in there taking on Brown. Brown trying to use her feet to kick it up and will get it out of reach, killing some valuable time off the clock there. Brown is still in the midst of the puck battle. Richard and Bex struggling to get that puck back for the Kraken, and finally Gabrielle Richard will come away with it. And Fundy will try to take it down the other way. It's Heidi Bex. Pass up for Haley LeBlanc. She's going to hit the brakes at the red line. Down for Bex, trying to get his own entry here. Right at the middle of the ice. Gets it to her teammate, Legere. Takes it in. 24 seconds left on the Kraken power play. Just under 100 seconds to play here in the second period. Fundy coming close, just a moment to go to getting that power play goal, but the goal is waved off as the whistle had gone. Rushing in to pick the puck up is Richard, but it's a battle in behind Power's net. And Avery McNeil will jump out of the penalty box, and we're back to 5-on-5 action. The Cape Breton Lynx come up with another big penalty kill here, despite some immense pressure from the Fundy Kraken on their power play opportunities. Jay Vickers with the lead pass, looking for Layla Austin up the wall. It gets away from her. Bootlier will set it down behind her own cage. Stolen by Angioni, though. The Lynx almost materializing a chance for themselves here in the final minute of the second period. It's going to squirt outside the line. Bootlier, first player back to get it, looks around the yellow boards here for her teammate, but stripped again by some Lynx forecheckers, and that's a big block there, and that stung for Bria Ricketson. Took it off her foot by the looks of things, and she's going to head right to the bench. Kraken not afraid to block some shots. We've seen a lot of that here in this game, and Ricketson was no exception that time. The block was enough to knock it out of the zone, relieve some pressure, but Cape Breton was right back in with it. McCachran almost got possession of it from point-blank range in front of the goaltender Gillespie, but it's played up and out of the zone to the opposing blue line. Lawand with 2 seconds left, trying to get a last-minute shot in, and her teammates will go offside. Still 2 seconds here left in the period, maybe a long ranger before the buzzer goes. Face-off will be in front of the Cape Breton Lynx bench to cap off the second period. And we might be getting a penalty on this. We're going to see. The draw will come inside. So the Fundy Kraken head to the box. Face-off be to the left of Gillespie once we get going here in the last 2.1 seconds of the period. Peyton Garnett taking a holding call there is the assessment of that play. So the Lynx will get a minute and 58 seconds of power play time when we return here in the third period, as Gillespie toes the puck aside as the buzzer goes here in member two. But Cape Breton adding another 2 goals in the second period to extend their lead to a comfortable 4-0 after 40 minutes of play here at home. 20 minutes from another big 3 points for this Lynx team, but another 20 minutes for the Kraken to try and fight their way back into this one as the teams head to the dressing room for a break, and so will we. About 10 minutes after the flood, we will return for the third period here in member 2 between the Fundy Kraken and the Cape Breton Lynx. So stick around. We'll be right back on High Button Sports. Well, hello everybody and welcome back to Member 2. We are about to begin the third period here in this Maritime Major Girls Hockey League matchup between the Fundy Kraken and the Cape Breton Lynx. 4-0, the lead after 40 minutes for the host Lynx. That second period, adding two more goals from Isabel Perouche and Cassie Cremo to put the score where it's at, though. Been a very back and forth game, though. Despite the scoreboard, only a one-shot difference between these clubs. The Lynx just barely outshooting the Kraken by a 17-16 margin. So the game has been closer than the scoreboard does tell. And there's still 20 minutes to play here. A couple goals can happen pretty quickly. And that is what Fundy hopes to do early in the third frame. But first, they have a Cape Breton Lynx penalty to kill, as the Lynx will come into the period with a minute 58 more to play on their own power play. Cape Breton in the black and purple uniforms to your left, and in the road whites to your right with the blue light blue colorings, the Fundy Kraken. As the Lynx get established in their own zone. That's Angie Oni up top for Ryland Gabriel. Big block in front of the net. We've seen that time and time again today from the Kraken defenders. Lots of shot blocks, fearless in front of that puck as it's cleared down the 200 feet. Gilliand initially in pursuit of the puck there, but was knocked away. Up for Elise Angioni. Angioni over the red line, and then the blue will shovel it down into the corner. Vickers is the lead forecheck there in pursuit, and we'll get the puck back for the Lynx, and they'll get set up here in the power play. Still 52 seconds to play here on the most recent 5-on-4 advantage, but the pass was behind the defense. Mary Margaret McLean on the wrong side of the blue line for an offside call against the Cape Breton Lynx. Just a minute and 10 seconds into the new period here on the fresh sheet of ice. Draw will be in front of the Fundy Kraken bench, and the face-off is won by the Lynx. They'll take it back in here, looking to get set up on this power play. That's Isabel Perouche. Cutting to the middle of the ice, leaves it off for McLean. In down low, another pass for Layla Austin. Perouche returns it up to Austin. Looking around on the spin, over to Mary Margaret McLean. Return pass to Austin, lets the shot go, and that's off the leg of Perouche, her own teammate. Some friendly fire in front of the net, knocks the puck away. 15 seconds now left on the Cape Breton Lynx power play. Collision of players in front of the net. Tied up in the middle of that was the defender Gabriel Richard. That frees up enough time for the Kraken to skate it right up out of the zone. That's Sarah Duguay taking it coast to coast there. Finally sticked off the puck. She gets some help there from her teammate Gillian, who is looping off the bench there, and the penalized player is out. We're back to 5-on-5 action. A big early period penalty kill here for the Kraken to open up this third period. Have a 4-goal hole to climb out of, though. Lynx scorers showing up even in the absence of their top scorer, Ava Landry. Landry, fourth in the league in goals, has 29 on the season. She played yesterday, scoring twice in that 6-0 win, but is not in the lineup today. Kraken battling for it in front of their own bench. Heidi Becks with a head of steam, throwing a couple of big pushes there against her Lynx opponents, trying to take it up, but Cape Breton is back into the zone with it. A little too quickly, though. They're going to go offside with 17:10 here on the clock. The draw is won by the Cape Breton Lynx. We'll hold it at center ice. That was Ryland Gabriel trying to force it down to Angioni on the wing. Austin muscling that down deep into the corner. Lauren Little breaks up the play. Little around back side of the net, where Bria Ricketson will take it. And it's off, I believe, somebody on the Lynx bench. That'll bring the play to a halt. Face-off will be in front of the Fundy bench now. 16:46 to play in the period. Just moments ago, Kraken with a big opening period penalty kill against the Lynx. Trying to get a comeback going here in the third period. Jade Vickers on down deep in the Kraken zone. And taking a bump there was Duguay, and the Lynx will steal it, even only for a second. Haley LeBlanc tries to get out of the battle with it. Julianne coming in to support, but Angione walks out of the corner. She had some time and space, but mishandled it and gotten away. Back for McLean at the far corner, padded away. Good save by Gillespie in tight quarters. And the Kraken get it out the other way. It's Maya Somerville flicking it down into the corner, going up against McLean and returning a shove, but Mary Margaret McLean will skate out of the corner with that one, going over the far boards, and elects to dump it into the zone and buy some time for her and some teammates to change. Over the line, icing is waved off, so it's all the way down the ice. Kate Ford, the first defender back to pick it up. Ford has some time to work with. That's off the stick shaft of Catherine Dickey on the forward check. Dickey heads to the bench. There's a penalty coming up. Cape Breton Lynx will head back to the box here. So a big chance for the Fundy Kraken here in the third period, trying to find a way to get on the board here in the third period and potentially get a comeback effort going. And they'll get a power play opportunity to do so, as Kate Ford will head to the penalty box here, I believe on a holding call. 15:30 on the clock. And the draw is won by the penalty killers. Lynx get it down the ice with ease as Rylan Gabriel fires it in behind the goaltender Mara Gillespie's net. Gillespie tried to play it, but a bit of a bouncy puck, so it'll roll out to the other side. Hillary Lewan, the lead forechecker out there for the Cape Breton Lynx. But now back up the other way come the Kraken. Lauren Little with the zone entry. It's going to bobble it under some immense pressure there from Rylan Gabriel. Catherine Dickey swings in behind the goal, finds Bex up by the far side half wall. Rather, that's Sarah Duguay looking down low for Dickey, rather. But the Lynx get to it first and will shoot it down the ice. Still another minute 12 to play on this penalty to the Lynx's Kate Ford. Kraken on a 5-on-4 here for the rest of that time. Little is pinned up along the boards. Good job there by Masson McCachran to bring play to a halt. And Jade Vickers is going to go for a skate. Vickers cutting into the forehand side. Around the net, finds McCachran some time and was looking for the far side glove on Gillespie, but the shot was just wide there. Julianne takes it out of the zone, trying to get something started here on the power play and hit the skate of a Lynx player. Potential grounds for a too many players on the ice penalty is not going to be called. Vickers tries to slam it up and out of her own zone. And up with the carry. Good individual effort by Austin. Takes it all the way back down to the other zone. Skates through a trio of Kraken players. On the backhand pass. Bounced off the tape of Haley LeBlanc. And the Cape Breton Lynx doing a great job today on the penalty kill. And kill the momentum in the second half of that Kraken power play. And they have it deep in their territory as Kate Ford steps out of the box and we return to 5-on-5. Jumps over the skate of Cremo. Brought down the ice where Layla Austin will backhand it back to her teammate. In the neutral zone, the Kraken maintain possession of the puck as Somerville shoots it in behind the Lynx goal. Potential icing here. Out to play the puck was Gillespie, but she saw the icing call and retreated back into her net quickly. Of course, if the goalie goes out to play it, there is no icing, and she knew that, so she let the puck go down for the call and a face-off down in the Cape Breton Lynx zone. With 12:58 to play here in the third period, Cape Breton hanging on to a 4-goal lead, trying to get a big 3 points here in the Nova Scotia playoff race, chasing the Greenfoot Caps. They play Greenfoot in a pair of games down in Bedford and Windsor next week, and those will be a big 6 points on the line for each of those teams when the time comes. The Kraken will also be in the New Brunswick playoff picture. There's 3 major under-18 teams over on the New Brunswick side. The Moncton Rockets, the Western Flames, and Fredericton. And of course the Fundy Kraken in town this weekend, all the way from St. John. Isabelle Perouche with the centering pass. That's going to be picked off. Good defense there by Ella Boutelier. Did enough to get it up to her teammate Wilcox and across the line. That up is Isabella Wilcox. Tries to go for escape. A good alert stick there by the Lynx's Madison McCachran. And Cape Breton's down the other way. Austin gets it in deep where Perouche is in pursuit. Lauren Little pinned up along the boards. Got it to her defender though, Boutelier. And that's off the skate of Sydney Mills. But Little was in the right place at the right time. Lauren Little really likes to skate that puck and will take it herself down into Lynx territory. Looking for that centering pass there, and with a head of steam was Catherine Dickey coming off the bench and got a stick on it, but also collided with her teammate there as the puck goes wide. Lynx trying to get a change in quickly, but Fundy trying to catch them off guard, looking for that stretch pass up for Dickey. Little at the end of a shift will go off to the bench as Catherine Dickey tries to slow things down for the Fundy Kraken. Cutting to the middle of the ice, stolen that time by Angioni of the Lynx as LeBlanc fights it in. Walking in the middle is Haley LeBlanc, and that is blocked. Mary Margaret McLean getting the leg on that one, a tough customer for the Cape Breton Lynx. And that's all the way out the center, and then the far blue line where Sarah Duguay settles it down. Duguay displaying a lot of speed here, coming off the Kraken blue line is the lead forechecker in on Jade Vickers. Angioni, backhand high and up to Isabelle Perouche. Perouche, she already has a goal today, trying to get in close to the net for potentially another scoring opportunity. Perouche pinned up along the boards, gets some help from her teammate Cassie Cremo as Hillary Lewan walks to the middle of the ice. Lewan to Perouche, oh what a stop by Mara Gillespie, sliding across to deny her of that one. Perouche at the close side, hash marks for Vickers. Tried to shovel it back to her forward and got it as far as Perouche, but some aggressive defense there by Gilliand. Perouche still in behind the net. Long shift here for both of these teams, both the forwards for the Kraken and as well for the Cape Breton Lynx, who finally decide to head off the ice, tired. Gets by Vickers. In pursuit of that is Garnett. Peyton Garnett picks it up. Now one-on-one there with Kate Ford of the Lynx. A 2-on-2 battle formed as it got over to Mills. She's going to get the shot off, rolls around to the other side. That's Ricketson. Leaves it up for Boutelier, the defender, and that's off a body and wide. I believe Jade Vickers blocked that for the Lynx. Ford leading the rush up the other way. 9:21 left in the period. Still a 4-0 score for the Cape Breton Lynx. Brown relays it down for McCachran, her line mate. Ran into a pair of Kraken players there, so lost the puck. Centering pass and charging the net was Julia Brown, trying to get a stick on that one. Brown has a goal in this game. The go-ahead goal, as of this moment, it was the first goal all the way back in the first period. So we are at exactly 9 minutes left in this hockey game. Fundy Kraken will get next weekend off after they drive home from Cape Breton today. Be back on the ice on February 13th. They'll head to Fredericton to play their old rivals in the Western Flames. Covered up by Ellie Power. She's going to field that from a bobbler from center ice. Powers had a strong weekend for the Cape Breton Lynx in a losing effort to the Northern Subway Selects on Friday night. Only gave up a pair of goals, about a minute apart on an extended Selects power play. Other than that, she was perfect in that game. And so far, she stopped everything this morning in Member 2 as the Lynx take it down the ice, but they were on the wrong side of center, so the draw has come all the way back down for an O-zone draw for the Fundy Kraken. Cape Breton Lynx are a point behind the Eastern Stars of PEI in the Maritime Major Hockey League standings. The Lynx currently at 34 points, the Stars at 35. Over in PEI, it will be a final between the two teams over there to decide who goes to the Atlantics, which will be taking place in Newfoundland this year in this age division. Between the Eastern Stars and the Western Wolves over there. As Angioni comes in, it's going to be a delayed penalty coming up way behind the play against the Fundy Kraken. Ellie Power is hustling to the bench for the extra attacker. Well, we'll return the regular strength here for the Lynx. It'll be a 5-on-4 power play, as it's a tripping call against Gabriel Leger, the defender. So the Cape Breton Lynx will head back to the one-player advantage, and they win the draw. Jade Vickers will loop that back to Rylan Gabriel. Heavy shot. That's along the ice. Padded away there alertly by Gillespie, who saw it all the way through. Angioni couldn't hold it. Some good penalty-killing hustle there from Bex to muscle that out of the zone for the Kraken. Tape-to-tape pass to Angioni. Gets it up to Lawand, who manages to stay onside, although she spun around there a little bit. Breaking in with his high Bex. Almost got away there loose, but good hustle by Jade Vickers to get back. Bex pouring on the pressure here on the penalty kill for the Fundy Kraken. Is going to kill some valuable time off this power play for the Lynx. We're going to slow it down and behind their own net. Rylan Gabriel, the quarterback on this power play unit. Going for that pass up to Angioni. It was a little too far ahead of the forward, though. So the Kraken will shoot it down and finish the change of their penalty killing units. Up the ice for Madison McCachran. Going up there against Catherine Dickey. So to Dickey's reach. Almost bounced over to her. And in the nick of time, McCachran had lost her stick behind the play, but she was the last player back as Catherine Dickey was in pursuit of the puck there for the Kraken on the short-handed. Almost an errant breakaway that would have been sparked there, but McCachran got back in just the nick of time. So Lynx are struggling to get set up against this Fundy Kraken penalty kill unit. Layla Austin will take it herself. Austin has room. Squirted behind Gillespie, but she saw it just in time. You could see the puck roll in behind her in the crease, but she reached back before anybody else could get to it and potentially tap that puck in. A good save there and some good alertness from Mara Gillespie. Playing a strong game here this afternoon for the Kraken. She's made some crucial saves. Lynx win the draw. Back to Rylan Gabriel. Over to Layla Austin. That shot is up off the glass. McCachran up top for Gabriel again at the top of the slot. Relay back for McCachran. Looking for options through the shooting lane. We'll get it down low instead for Julia Brown. Brown pinned there and defend closely by Boutlier. Right as Leger jumps out of the box, we're back to 5-on-5, so the Kraken kill it, but they're not out of the woods yet, as the Lynx are finally establishing some pressure down in Fundy territory. Rylan Gabriel couldn't hold it. Good aggression there by LeBlanc of the Kraken, but couldn't force it up across the line. Fundy trying to take back possession of the puck, but Gabriel will let the shot go, and that's tipped up out front and wide of the net out of harm's way for Fundy. 5:27 left in the hockey game. Julia Brown tried to muscle it toward the center of the ice. Is shot down by Fundy. They're desperate for a change, and it's waved off. It's a good hustle there by a Kraken forechecker. To outskate that, Rylan Gabriel plays it up for Lawand. Hillary Lawand has a goal tonight. Will cut in. Fanned on the shot, cutting in against a pair of Kraken blue liners. Now Jade Vickers will try her hand at it. And that's off a leg and wide once more. And it's down the ice, but the puck will slow up, so no icing call again against Fundy. Vickers, DDD pass to Kate Ford. It's mishandled, though. Over to Peyton Garnett. Looking for that passing lane in front. Is shot and knocked away at the last second by Ellie Power. A great scoring chance for the Fundy Kraken off the tape of Bria Ricketson, but couldn't bury it. Over to Garnett, who will bobble it, but it's enough to buy her and her teammates some time for a line change. That's Kate Ford in her own zone. Looking for Angioni at center ice. It's taken away by Wilcox, and Heidi Bex is up with it. Bex to the backhand. Oh, a nice shot, but gobbling that up is Ellie Power for another big save for the Cape Breton Lynx with just over 4 minutes to play here in the third period in Member 2 in this early Sunday morning game. Heidi Bex will take the face-off to the right of Ellie Power here and managed to get the shot off on that opportunity. Power is ready for it. We'll redo the draw. A good spread on the scoreboard. It's 4-0, but it's been closer than it seemed. Kraken contributing a lot of offensive pressure themselves. Only a 23-19 shot total. I mean a 4-shot spread in favor of the Cape Breton Lynx, who have had a couple of power play looks this period. No goals in the third period, though, for either of the teams, as Mayel Somerville looks to get it down the ice and will gain the line and go in behind the Lynx net. Some of the Kraken players changing up as the Lynx take it out. Repeat the dump in here potentially as Sarah Duguay will take it for a skate. She likes to skate with that puck. It's generated a couple of chances that way here in this game. Got to LeBlanc, picked off by Lauren Little. Right place, right time, and was looking upstairs on Ellie Power, but Power another good save as she saw that shot all the way through for the Lynx. So both teams will complete some changes here with 3:22 left in the game. Summer Gilliand loses the face-off to her Cape Breton Lynx counterpart in the center ice dot. Or in the face-off dot, not at center ice, over in the Lynx zone. But the Kraken get established. 2-on-2 battle along the close side boards over in the corner. It's Garnett. Centering pass almost found its way over to Ricketson, who was charging the net, but couldn't get a stick on it. And the Lynx are back out with it. Good stick check there by Duguay will thwart the pressure from the Lynx. Fundy tries to generate the counterattack here. Lawand will knock the puck down in front of the scorekeeper's bench here. And we'll go for a skate. Is there with Isabel Peruche on the forechecking pressure. There's a pair of Lynx players there as some of their teammates go for a change. It's up for Garnett. She's at the end of a long shift as it's dumped in. Out of her net to play it is Gillespie. Lauren Little leaves it back for Duguay. Sarah Duguay up the middle of the ice, lets the shot go. Bobbled by Power, the rebound over to her left, still digging at it, and it's covered up as that got away from Ellie Power. And Sarah Duguay, with her speed and strength, went right to the net and banged away at it a few times for some good scoring opportunities. But Power, with the help of a couple of her teammates behind the play, kept that out of the net. So close for the Kraken, trying to get on the board here very late in the game. And the rebound, the Kraken are right back on top of the Lynx net with it. It's finally covered up. And a few little after whistle antics there, but Fundy will step out of the scrum. All three forwards going to the net on that one, jamming away, but Ellie Power has been fantastic between the pipes tonight, or rather this morning, for the Cape Breton Lynx. Holding strong here in the dying minutes of this third period. Tie up off the draw. Cape Breton will come out with it. Played up the ice. Good tape to tape to Julia Brown. Brown has some room to shoot. Pad save by Mara Gillespie. It's a one and done as the Kraken get it up toward the blue line and finally out. Catherine Dickey kicking at it. Tried to get some possession and send it off to her teammate. But Cape Breton will take it back. Julia Brown tries to spin up and takes the pass over to Ryland Gabriel. Gabriel fanned on the shot. Down for Elise Angioni. Battle ensues along the wall. Gabriel steps in, and that was paid away at the last second by Gillespie. Had to be very quick on the left pad that time. As McNeil tried to force the backhand in on Gillespie's net, but it's wide. Centering pass intended for Angioni was intercepted by a Kraken defender. Lynx take it back at center ice. Jayle Andrews first in pursuit. Here in the final minute here in member 2, so the Lynx will pick up a big 3 points here. 2-1 over their weekend homestand here in member 2. Lost Friday night, but came back with a big win last night against Fundy and will look to hold on to the win here with only 30 seconds left. That will move them within 1 point of the Greenfoot Capitals, setting the stage for a big pair of games against them next week with some big playoff implications on the line here in the Nova Scotia playoff picture. Tight game though, 25-22 the shots in favor of the Lynx. The Kraken fighting hard and kept it close, but Cape Breton will hang on to sweep the back-to-back games against the Fundy Kraken here. The final score in this one, 4-0, as Ellie Power with another big game for Cape Breton. She will stop 22 for the shutout, and her teammates will give thanks to her for that. So 4-0 the final score here from member 2. Lynx are back on the ice next weekend in Bedford against the Greenfoot Caps, and you can catch all that action on High Button Sports. My name is Luke Diamond. Thank you for tuning in here this morning. We'll catch you next time. So long for now, and happy Sunday, everybody. From